Hi there, and welcome to Bustthenet. Yes, this is another episode of Gamechanger, where I go into your safe and I give you some suggestions. Sometimes these are pretty straightforward. There's only a minor tweak here or a minor tweak there that we need to do, or you could have missed out something on a transition, and well, then I come in and do my best to help you out. And sometimes these become a major challenge, and this is one of those kind of shows. We've got a save here from a Norwegian uh, cap manager, Holton, and he sent this in. He wants me to take a look at his save. He's managing low soft or lowest oft. I don't know how we pronounce that name. And he's been using a 4132 DM narrow, which in my opinion is a bit hard to do unless you have the right players for it. And while it was one of my favorite systems in FM18, the in FM19, I find that the 4132 you need to really invest in fullbacks who can defend, and that's the biggest challenge with this system. Because when we play with the 4132 narrow, fullbacks need to be able to get up the pitch to score, and we also need them to defend. So having a DM there is just not enough, and then we have to hit this long, hopeful punt balls over the top. But before I go any further into it, let's see how he's done thus far. Um, in terms of the squad and where they are at the moment, they are struggling. They're not very far away from the relegation zone. So this is definitely one of those scream help me or else I'm gonna get relegated kind of saves. Okay, your it from the for the club itself, your top scorer happens to be Connor Ingram. 12 goals out of 19 appearances, not a bad return. Highest average rating, it's him as well, and it's only 6.96. Now, when I see something like this, it means that most of your team is playing to expectations, except for maybe Connor Ingram, who's just slightly exceeding expectations. Now, what do I mean by this? When I do my analysis of my squads, I typically have something like this, my stats, right? And within the stats, I will be able to see how my players are performing. If you look at just the stats alone, a lot of these players are playing to expectations. Anything between 6 and 6.9 or 6.8 is playing to expectations. 6.8 is already reaching for playing above expectations. And we only have like Travis Cole, Andrew Fisk, Elvis, and the rest of them who are, maybe shooting for something better. The second thing I notice about this squad is when I'm playing a lower league challenge, you may I will try as many players as I can before I settle on a squad, and typically you will find my squads are very big. If you look at you compare this save to my Staley Bridge save, you'll notice that I've got like maybe a second squad that hardly ever gets used. But over the course of a season, I might try a few of these players because it's vital that you have extra options on the bench, especially since sometimes matches here can the frequency of matches here is crazy. Sometimes you have like three or four matches, 3 matches a week. You get like 2 days rest or 3 days rest, and your players are they can't last the whole game. Then when I'm looking at just the core DNA, in my book for my lower league challenges is acceleration, composure of the ball, decisions, passing, first touch, and work rate. So here in terms of work rate, this team, um, you want to play a 4-1-3-2 means that you attack and come back, right? And you're depending on some pretty your fullbacks, for example, they're gonna have to have very high work rates. But if I'm looking across the team, 12 for Andrew Fisk, 12 for Sean Barmond, and 12 for Matty Brown. That's the only 3 players who've got good work rate. The rest of the players are hovering at 10, 11, while in lower league that might be acceptable. You still need to understand what this means. They may not track somebody back across the pitch. It's not easy to find players with good work rate, especially in the lower leagues, but we have to be aware of what they bring to the table. So this is akin to me doing a review of my own team. If this was me, if I'm playing a game, I would do something like this. At the end of every season, this is what I do. I go through my team and I review how they've been playing. Like hitters percentages, the player that's doing most of the work, I mean, this is position, role, and duty for training. So I see this as a wing back. I'm trying to save space, right? Now, normally I'll have one more slot here, but there's not enough space on this monitor, or else this becomes too big. We got a wing back who's got the highest hitting percentage. This is like, what? I'm like, okay. Then we got a ball playing defender who does like 4.83 interceptions a game. Okay, that's actually quite good. And then we got another one here with 3.2. So your boys play pretty well in terms of intercepting. Their tackling percentages are pretty good. Aerial challenges, the number of attempts they make over 90 minutes. Josh Curry he defends crosses like, see, this is a reflection of the tactic you're playing. 13.32 and 10.21, and then here we got 10.15. This is totally a reflection of the fact that your tactic that you're using, I haven't seen your tactic yet, but I did like 4-1-3-2, right? So it's a reflection of the fact that your system deals with a lot of crosses, right? So so 1 out of 3 crosses aren't dealt with in the box. We can make that assumption because header percentage could also be like from set pieces as well. How many headers do they win? But they have to attempt the header before you get the number, right? So this is the heading percentage, headers won ratio. Then let's take a look at how your cross completed. You got 50% of crosses by Travis Cole. Okay, so this is probably a rare occurrence, like maybe 1 or 2 crosses in a game. Then we've got ball winning midfielder, 35%. Passing percentages in the team generally quite low, 80%, 79%, 75, 75. For a lower league, probably within expectations. And then as we go down, we'll see that most of the other players are your fullbacks. Not particularly helpful. Acceleration for the team, 14, 12, 12. 10, 10, 9, 8. Okay, so you've got a 7, 7, 6. This whole group is very slow. This includes one of your central defenders. Defensive midfielder is very slow. Positioning is about 8. Okay, I would prioritize definitely positioning above all else. Now, Sean Beaumont, striker, center. Okay, this is terrible because he gets forward whenever possible, but his acceleration is very slow. So it's like he gets further forward, but by the time he gets into position, defenders are all going, "Hi, thanks for joining us. Took you a while to get here." So that's him. Josh Curry, Elvis Putnins. Okay. You given yourself no again from the squad alone. I'm very worried if I take this as a game changer episode myself, because I can't do much with what I have because you don't give yourself options. If you're looking at the under 18s, there are some under 18s. Morgan Penfold, definitely I'm going to move him into the first team squad. I will sign him in a heartbeat because just looking at his attributes alone, he's anytime better than the complete forward that you have. So he's got at least some acceleration. He can dribble with the ball. He can put the ball into the back of the net. He's got fairly good off the ball. Okay, his passing may not be fantastic, but he's definitely a player that you want to pick. In fact, I'm surprised I didn't find him in my own save because I have used Morgan Penfold before. And Morgan Penfold, you should sign him immediately. Right, so you've scouted him long enough, and then if you've got players like Charlie Patterson, who's another one that you scouted. Now, personally speaking, right, for me, if he is when it comes to lower league saves, your midfielders, if you can find them, please sign them. Off the ball position, if they're both high or at least 9 or 10, you don't want to hesitate. Now, if the off the ball is low but the positioning is high, then he has a position. Then he can be played as a DM. He can be played as a holding player. If the player's off the ball is high, he's and it's the rest of, high for lower league is something like anything greater than 9. So you keep them because you want players who can move off the ball. Now, Charlie Patterson, when I look at his attributes, initially I was excited because I tend to do my attributes in colors, right? So the first color that jumps out is from the blue category. I look at vision going, oh my God, I need this player. Then I look at the rest of it attributes. Well, his first touch is not bad. His decision making is good. His marking is so. His passing, he's got passing, vision, and work rate. Now, I might sign him as well because at least have options in my central midfielder position. At least I know that if I use this player, I have to use him in a forward capacity. Now, you're playing a 4-1-3-2. Does he have a spot in your 4-1-3-2? Probably not. But at least he gives you an option for a plan B, right? So this is something that you need to have. I mean, for when it comes to your finances aren't going to be in a, you're not going to be any. When you play lower league, you're not going to be in trouble because most of these players will come to you for part-time contracts. Let's just go to Morgan Penfold, right? Contract approach to sign him. Okay, he wants to be a key player. So what I'll do for his contract is I'll remove this so I don't spend too much money. Yearly wage rise 10%. That's okay because it's not my problem. It's the board's problem. Promotion wage rise, yeah, whatever. 30 sounds good. Seasonal landmark bonus, 20 goals, £975. Let's make it a bit more exciting. Let's give it 30 goals and then we'll give him a bit more money, 1k. So this alone is not too bad, but he wants to be a key player. I will see whether I can sign him as a first team player and then I'll give him £400 per week. Okay, now this is walking in as a first teamer, so your budget can allow for it, right? So we sign Morgan Penfold. Now we got Freddie Nibbert here as a defender. Jumping reach is 8, forget it, we're not signing him. So when I'm looking at defenders, I immediately zone in first for jumping, especially for lower leagues. You got to be very selective about your attributes. Tom Clifford, fullback on the left. He's okay, but while he's got decent mentals, his tackling is a big no-no. So in your 4-1-3-2, he really can't play. Now, in this particular case, I'm also looking at this potential. He has a potential to improve. So we'll just sign him. The thing about him is most likely when we do sign him, he's not going to be very demanding. Holy cow, he wants to be a key player. Hello, hot prospect. No, he wants to, I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to sign him as a key player. Frazier Garnier. Some of these players will sign for you with options. They won't mind being part-time players. Okay, now we've got all these other players like Danny Pinheiro, right? James Langsdale. So we want to see what other options we have in your team. We got Michael Cosgrove now. Cole Query. I'm actually looking to see whether you have another wing back who can give you an option as a winger. Nope, he's out. Josh Cadman, MRC. Nope, he's out. Then we've got Romaric O'Malley. Jumping reach is 13, but it's extremely slow. Then we got Simon Smith. And we got Justin Genovese. Okay, all these players that you have in your youth team, you only want to keep maybe Michael Cosgrove, Danny Pinheiro, James Langsdale, and Charlie Pattinson, right? So Charlie Pattinson, will sign him. I would sign him. Contract approach to sign, but he will definitely want to be a key player. What is with your play? I mean, I normally get players who want to come in as on part-time contracts, but now you've got a situation in your club where everybody wants to come in as a key player. All right, let's look at your scouting and how your shortlist. Now, whenever I scout players and I bring them into my club on trial, I will know the information straight out of the bat. So these are all players that are attached to a club. So we want to edit the search, and I want to come here, customize this view, and look at their value. Sorry, I have the value here. Okay, so the value I want, I don't want any players that are attached to a club. So all these players, there's no point looking at them. But here we got Sam Geddes, right? 27 years contracted to Quom. No, he won't work. J. Roos, midfielder, left-footed player, plenty of acceleration, makes good decisions, has determination, does passing, has some vision, first touch. He might actually have a part to play in your team. Because, okay, gets into space, but that's about it. Then you got Ben Dempsey. I really... So when we're in the lower leagues, we're literally going to see whether some of these players can give us other options. Ben Dempsey, positioning is okay, passing is okay, gets away from players. He definitely can be added to your team. You'll end up signing a lot of players, but you want to try and bring players in who are also willing to come in on a part-time contract. Let's look at Louis Gard. Approach to sign him. Lowest is concerning me. Okay, yeah. That's the other problem right now. They probably won't come and sign for you now because your performances aren't very good. Kyle Barker, at all costs, I would sign this player. Because he has decent attributes across even the only problem with him is his low determination. Yep, this is it. Chances are most of these players are not going to come because we have to get our results sorted first. So we have to find a way to improve our position, our system. So the second thing we do is we look at the results. Not very good at the moment. So let's take a look at the odds for your team as well. 18. I figure low soft is would be mid-table if I'm not mistaken. Nope. Leisure League soft 75 to 1. Okay. Staley Bridge Celtic, they're here too. Oh, okay. Alright, this is a tough save because you're going to have to bring in more players. And the thing is, you normally do that at the start of the season when expectations aren't there yet. You don't start doing it. You can only sign players if you're mid-table. Once you're in the relegation zone, nobody wants to come. So you're going to have to get your results up. So you made one mistake in your Duffy Challenger. The huge mistake was you didn't pull in a lot of players at the start of the season. The key to what's doing well the Diffuse Challenge is your squad size. That's it. You want a massive squad, and that means you'll be signing a lot of players on part-time contracts. You'll be pushing the limits of your wage budget as well. Okay, now we look at the schedule. Everybody is gonna wallop you in this save. Okay, Boston 1-2 away. You played away from home. So the goal here now is to draw. That's not to win yet. You want to try and hit as many draws as you can. Low soft, well, one long shot, that's fine. Good possession numbers. 5 shots blocked. This is a reflection of the fact that the team was defending very well against you. You could barely get a shot on target. Okay. Staley Bridge Celtic at home should have won this match. I mean, yes, you should have won this match. Scarborough 0-3 again, reflecting the fact that you are doing well in certain areas of the game, but you control the game. You actually are in your opponent's half for a significant amount of time, but you're not bearing your chances. So let's take a look at the actual highlights themselves. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at comprehensive highlights. This is where I start analyzing. So I haven't seen your tactical instructions yet. So as you can see, your wingbacks are pretty advanced when they're attacking, which is okay since you want them to give you support, but places a big burden on these two. The ball goes out to Brown. Brown plays it. The first problem you have is this. You notice how Brown played the ball and he couldn't get to your players. It's a reflection of the fact that your team doesn't have very good passing, and there's several things wrong here. One, not very good poor passing. Two, the role that you have in midfield doesn't lend good support to the wingback. 3, the wingback maybe shouldn't have been told to go so far forward. You should use another method to get him there, and you should have gotten him to tuck inside preferably so that he's sitting a bit narrower and passing options are available to him. So this that transition alone, within 17 seconds, we already know that there's something wrong with your midfield. Jarvis gets the ball, plays a brilliant ball out to Brown, crosses the ball into the box. Here, you're playing this kind of a game, which is a 4-1-3-2. Do you have a player who can win headers in the air? If you don't, that's the second problem that you have. Then a 4-1-3-2 only works if you have either 2 very, very fast strikers, which is my preferred style, since it gives me so many options, or you play with a target man poacher, a tall short striker combination, or tall whatever, but you got a target man there. Diggs gets the ball to Wicks. Wicks plays it out. You're gonna be depending a lot on the crossing game. Wicks out is not too bad, and yeah, you can. Okay, this whole highlight showed me that your team is able to work the ball into the opponent's box. You may have done something to tweak things around to give yourself that opportunity, which is kind of cool. Throw-ins, do you have, okay, another thing, throw ins, do you have a long throw option? If you have a long throw option, you can tweak your set pieces. I've done a set piece guide, but I've not really gone into throw ins very specifically because I think that default ones are fine. However, for lower league challenges, sometimes what you want to do is you want to hit to a tall player and have the tall player at near post. So you have a long throw targeting the guy at the near post. He does a flick on and somebody comes in to score from at the back post. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so transition for set throw-ins is okay. Okay, now this is your set piece for corner taking. Okay, you got two players outside the edge of the box, nobody attacking the near post. I would definitely think about the three golden spots for corners, which is near post, far post, and center. These are the three you want to worry about. Then after you fill the rest. Okay, long kick out. Scarborough, you're okay. Tactically, this 4-1-3-2 is okay because you're doing a lot in terms of possession. Now, this role number 9, target man, F9, these are my preferred ones for the moment. Because these guys will drop a bit deeper, so or else you want to look for a player trait that encourages him to come down. Holden won the ball over the top again. This is where I was talking about your fullbacks and your wingbacks needing to be fast. Cole plays it out to Deeks. Deeks plays it. Deeks is a very good player. For lower league, he is very okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, buckle my shoe. These 4 players all went to close down King. Something is wrong. Something is very wrong here. This is a recipe for disaster. Because if you have something like this happening, a team can hit you on the counter very easy. Now, notice what has happened after those 4 monkeys went after the piece of banana lying on the ground. Okay, Bollard now, if he turns, plays it to 3 plays on over the top, you're screwed. Even the second ball, the header is won by your players. It's gonna land at the feet of one of these 3 players, which is gonna be dangerous. The good thing is the pressure has been put on him, so you escape that. But as you can see, your players are struggling to come back. They play the ball out wide. And you still haven't got your defensive shape back, so this is another concern. Okay, so you have to fix. So we have to fix closing down. We have to fix support on the left flank. All right, that's the 2 main things for this 4-1-3-2. Yeah, that transition. This goal actually was conceded here. It wasn't conceded that this goal was conceded when you were attacking and everybody decided to start chasing after the magical ball. This goal actually happened when this happened, right? So this is the thing about transitions, right? Most people, when they look at the game, they don't see the events that caused that transition to be weak. This is the actual event that screwed up actually led to the goal. Because when these 4 players went closing down this one little man called King, we had 1, 2, 3, and we had this kind of positioning. So the goal could have come at any time. Bola could have, if Bola had been faster, he would have played this 3 over the top. You would have been in trouble. B, Bola plays it to 3 tries to play it out. One of your defenders hits the ball here, you're in trouble. So this position, and you have 1, 2, 3 all rushing back, and they never did get back into position. When this happens, players have to come in to cover their positions. When they come in to cover their positions, your whole defense is messed up. All right, so as you can see there, they coming. See 7. This is another situation where your boys are trying to press them, and in doing so, they lost their cohesion. So away from home, these are 10 minutes in. This is a terribly dangerous transition, but yeah, it happened, and then after that, you conceded a goal because your players are still not back in position. Maybe at this point they are reasonably back. Then Wicks goes to close him down on the. Wicks is either deciding I want to go for him or him. King plays it to green, and then we should not have allowed that situation to transpire. Holden, Bollard. By now your players are back in position, but this is a deep cross. It's a fantastic cross actually. It's gonna land here. Number 3 is too slow. Yeah. So we've seen I actually have seen enough. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but I think I've seen enough of this. Let's now take a look at your tactic. Then we'll take a look at your players. All right. Wait, what were you using for this match against Scarborough? Scarborough. Scarborough. You're using the 4132. Okay, so. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna look at two tactics now. We got two tactics here. We got this 4122. Oh, okay, this is box to box, box to box. Right? No wonder you had this problem. This guy is gonna roam. This guy is gonna roam. You got fullback attacking, fullback attacking. Ouch. Be more disciplined with two roamers. And three, actually. There are three roamers. 1, 2, 3, 4 roamers. Actually, 4 roamers. You gotta roam. You got a non-existent midfield, mate. You can't use this. This is a suicidal 4132. This is a terrible 4. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but this is a terrible 4132. Roam, 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 roam. 4 roamers with a ball-winning midfielder who's never going to be in the center. He's going to be everywhere else. So this is the reason why you have those 4 fellas running off like like crazy people. And then we've got more urgent. Okay, I mean, you can use more urgent, but then you got to look at your other things like you got prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Means these guys are going to start closing down. And then in transition, you have a counter press. So these 3 guys, when you lose the ball, these 1, 2, 3, 4 are going to press. Ouch. They're going to try and press to win the ball back. And it opens you up as well. So it's not advisable. You could actually, when you lose the ball, this is the thing about counter press, right? If you have a group right in front, there are 3 players, or you're playing those kind of wide system that can put pressure on fullbacks, then counter press makes sense. But if you're playing a 4-1-3-2, counter press doesn't really make sense because you're pushing your midfield up as well to try and win the ball back. And when that happens, you open huge gaps in your team. So why don't you just say, Lavi, let's not use either counter press or regroup. Nothing wrong with that. But what you want to do is you want counter. This is when you have won the ball, you're gonna look for the counter attack. So you don't want to play a game where you are trying to press the other team, right? Rather press the other team and you've lost the ball immediately. Focus play to the middle. Yeah, it's okay. Pass into space, only workable if you have the space for it. Extremely wide, not necessarily. You can go for standard as well. And then defend wider. Okay. It means that you're opening up the middle, right? You when you open it, you're attracting the DM to come here. It can be done if your DM is solid. Now then we come to lower league. Winger, central midfield attack, central midfield support, ball winning midfielder running this way, running that way. Fullback defense, fullback support, custom clean state, shorter passing. Nothing very much is happening here. Honestly, to be you got one winger giving you width. Another winger may be giving you. You got central midfield attacker coming this way. You got pressing forward, trying to press them. Doesn't bring anybody else into play. You got ball winning midfielder who might go MIA. And you got fullback or defense who won't be attacking because he's trying to protect the flank for this winger on attack. And a fullback or support who might overlap. No, in fact, he won't overlap. He'll just hold his position. There's very little lateral movement on this side of the pitch. And you play with a lower defensive line, so you're hoping to hit them over the top. How? I don't see that in this tactic. I don't see how this is going to happen. Think about defensive lines, right? Defensive line is essentially how far are your players going to be from goal when you have the ball. That's it. That's a defensive line. How far are your players willing to go with the ball? When you play with a low defensive line, they ain't going for very far. So that's why you don't get caught with balls over the top. Right? If you lose the ball, your boys don't have to track back very far. But if you play with a very low defensive line, you also leave yourself open. If you lose the ball, then because you're not very far away from goal, you're going to see things like long shots, players cutting you open. So these are things that you want to... And stay on feet. Why do I play stay on feet sometimes? I play stay on feet because I'm playing an aggressive game. I don't want my players to turn around and have to chase the ball. But right now, you're giving them so much space to play. You're not so far away to go. Actually, stay on feet is suicidal. So what you want to do is actually uncheck it. Right? Give yourself the option. Just don't use this shout. Lower defensive line, just go a bit higher. You're playing with a DM. You can afford to be higher. So there's a rule of thumb, right? If you're playing with a DM, you don't need to play with a lower defensive line. You can afford to play with a standard or much higher defensive line. And a 4-1-4-1 here depends on the players that you have. So this tactic needs to be changed. And then we've got the 4-4-2. Okay, the CMD, CM attack, winger, very bulk basic 4-4-2, winger support. One guy stay here. Okay, not a lot of movement in this tactic. This is a balanced tactic with not a lot of movement. There is very little going for it in terms of how it wants to drive at teams. There's no playmakers in the system. There's no clear use of the flanks. It's a very simple tactic which doesn't attack space. It demands that you have control of the ball. You're gonna have to be camping in opponent's half and hoping that you can score. Yes, it's possible to score with this tactic. Of that I have no doubt, provided you camp, but you're not attacking space. So we're gonna have to tweak your tactics slightly, and we have this. We have to play a few matches now with a tactic, and we have to understand what you have in your team. Now I'm going to take a look at your team. Okay, so let's look at your defenders. Let's try to understand your defenders before we come up with a strategy to play this. This is going to be a long show, so you guys better be prepared. Okay, so for defenders, we got Jumping Reach. 15 is not too bad. Who's Danny Devine? He's so beautiful name. Okay, Jumping Reach 12. Okay, that's not too bad. Strength 13, aggression about 10. This guy's got 0 aggression. I like some aggression in my defenders. You know, bone crunching tackles, always nice to watch. Anticipation, mentals, okay. Tackling 11, 9, that's not too bad. Marking 10, 15, that's actually quite good. That's actually damn bloody good. Okay, composure 9, 7, determination 10 and 8, natural fitness 9. Can't last. Josh Curry might not last the whole game. Concentration 9. Poor concentration for this guy. Okay, DM correct system to use. This is okay. Okay, we played a 5-4-1 and a 4-4-2. DM. So in the for Kettering Town, we actually got off to a good start. We had some very good attacking moves here. Heaven to Fist then play to Folks. Folks play a through pass. Fist brought down inside the box. We go on to score a penalty. Very nice. And then our next goal, Folks to Fist to Deeks. Good build-up play from the back. And then Folks comes up. Fist, Clifford, and this is the ball. Right down to Folks. Folks goes down the line. Matt Ingram scores. Very nice. I was thinking, yeah, the boys are playing well, and then our weaknesses, you know, one long shot outside the box and another long shot outside the box over here, and we lose out. They actually scored from outside the box because you have to play with a deep defensive line, leaving lots of room open, and they scored. Okay, this is a serious problem with your team. I just realized it as well. Your keeper. Well, let's just put it this way. I mean, I know we love Elvis, but he's the only keeper you have. You really got to go out there and find a keeper with some decent reflexes, aerial reach to command the box. So you're going to have to go out there. You're going to have to sign a backup. So there are keepers out there in the game. You just have to add another keeper. What if Elvis gets injured? You're going to go to your under 18s. You got Oliver James. This is your other keeper, so you don't have very many options, so you need to sign a keeper. Keeper is very important. You're lacking in that department. So that was our first game, 2-2 draw. Then we played York City, the same tactic. We played really well against York City. Surprisingly, I was very impressed with our counter-attacking play. And we managed to score a goal, but York City, who played in the conference, took us for 2-1. It was okay. Then we played Leamington Spa 1-1. We managed to score from a free kick from Jacek Zilionka, but then they managed to score in the 27th minute. We conceded a goal, unfortunately for us. You're going to have to fix the problem of your lack of speed. And for this match against Leamington Spa, we actually used a different system. We use this 4-4, the 4-4-2 DM. So these are the two tactics I would use with your team. You can also use the 4-4-2. 4-4-2 and the reason why I went with this tactic is because you already have set yourself up for 4-4-2. But these are the players I would, not these players. These are the players I would be playing in the 4-4-2. Deeks, Fisk has got passing 5 vision. I think Deeks is slightly better. Passing 9, 6, off the ball 8. Volante. So I'll play this way, right? So I'll play Deeks as the Volante. Zelonka on the right flank is an inverted winger, or we would play, the other play, you have another player who's pretty good. You got Fletcher who can play on the, okay, basically you got Fletcher, Folks, and Zielonka. These are your three players that you can play on the flanks, right? So they're all decent. At the back, your problem is Josh Curry. Josh Curry is very slow, right? So some matches I'm more likely to prefer the combination of George Heaven and Cole. The problem right now is none of your players are very fast. So if a choice between Cole and Curry, I'll go with Curry. So Heaven and Curry. Heavenly Curry. That's what we're gonna get. Unfortunately for us, this Heavenly Curry combination is not very strong, because these guys get pushed off the ball very much. So you're gonna have to go out there to go and get some sub-strikers. So this you need defenders, and they are available in the lower leagues. You just have to spend a bit more time, and you can bring them in, but you got to get some results on the bag, in the bag, and playing for points now. A point is very important. So we got Poacher, target man, inverted winger, DMD, Volante, fullback support, central defender. Here I've got overlap right. Why? Because I want to influence the mentality of the fullback on the right so he gets closer. You have to play with Divine in every single game. You have no choice. Divine is very important because your set pieces at the moment have nobody who's strong enough to cover the area. So Divine here, you'll have to make sure every time you play the game that you're checking your set pieces. Divine has to be playing. Here's jump reach is 12. This guy will play here. This guy's jump reach is 5, so he can play in this position. But this is how you're gonna be setting up for your corner routines. Divine is always in this position at near post. So on the right and on the left, this is how you're gonna set up your corner routines. Divine will come here. Yeah, you could do something like this. You can have 2 on the post, or you can have something like this as well. So they all work. So this is another variation of the corner routine where you don't have anybody on the post, you're marking like this. So both these tactics can work. I would either use this, or I would use this, the 5-4-1. Poacher, inverted winger, CM support, box to box. But this is where it gets interesting. Fullback support, I want him to run wide with the ball and sit narrow because we're using an inverted winger. Here, same thing, run with the ball, sit narrow in case I decide to swap. So this winger on attack is going to go down the flanks, but Zielonka tends to go into the box, right? So he tends to drift. This is the reason why I want Divine to stay wide. In possession, we'll be having a normal attacking width to encourage the ball on the flanks. No play out of defense, no ball into box, only play for set pieces, more direct in tempo. This is pretty much like a low block. We soak them in and hit them over the top. Defensive width is fairly wide. We want to chop them down here as much as we can. They will be dragged into the middle. I did try to use a libero here. You can use a libero too, but when you use a libero in this position, your challenge is going to be these two guys aren't very fast. They're not very smart. So if you got a libero, players might come through the middle and you're on to goal. So I rather start with a central defender on defense. So far, this is how I play with the this save on the defuse challenge. Is a very, very interesting challenge because it doesn't test your tactics. It tests how you find the right players to fit them into a system that's going to be successful in the long run. For now, you got to fight to stay away from the relegation zone, and I would do that by putting points on the board, even if it's from draws. And once slowly the team starts playing the way you want, and you will move up because you know that a point is worth it. Because if you're looking at the table, one win will send you here, and you'll be clear of the relegation zone. So you cannot afford to lose. What you got to do is make it hard for teams to beat you. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Game Changer. If you have any questions, please look me on Twitter at Bustthenet or addicted2fm.com, my website. Once again, I'd like to thank all my patrons for their continued support of this channel. You make this kind of shows possible for the rest of the community. You guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.